Okay, in this next exercise set, we're going to try to finish up with compositions pretty well today. And so anyway, if you look at 16 here, for f of g of x, you're going to take, for this first one, you're going to plug this g into any place you see an x here, right? So you're going to plug in for this x and that x. So f of g of x, and I wrote the notation a little differently though, is going to be negative 2, and I'm going to leave this whole thing here squared minus 5 times, I'm leaving this whole thing here for x, plus 1. And so we're going to put the value of g right in here. Right? And then negative 5x plus 6 right in here. So it's the same thing you had in that quiz, essentially, right? Except there's more to do here. So you go ahead and if you simplify out, you're going to have negative 2, and what's negative 5x squared? Well, it's 25x squared, right? Is that right? And then in expanding a binomial, we haven't done binomial expansion this year, but what it is for the second term, it's going to be 2 times that times that. So what's 2 times negative 5? So negative 10 times 6 is negative 60. So this could be negative 60x. And then what's 6 squared? 36, right? And then we have minus, we can distribute out here, and that's going to be plus 25x and minus 30, is that right? And then plus 1. So really it's simplifying from here out. You get negative 50x squared, is that right? And then you have plus negative times positive 120x, then negative times positive, you get negative 72, and then plus 25x minus 30 plus 1, and what is that going to be? Well, we have negative 50x squared, right? And then you have plus 145x, and then you have minus, so that's going to be what? Negative 102 plus 1. So negative 101, is that right?
Yeah.
So that's f of g of x. And with that, I hope you can see why I didn't want you to do 17 and 18 and all those, right? So just do g of it. Are you better on that now, Chloe? Better on that now? Yes.
How did you get the negative 60x again? Can you repeat that?
Yeah, what I'll do is that has to do with binomial expansion. So if we have something like a plus b squared, then the expansion we're going to have a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. That's a binomial expansion pattern, right? And you know if you box it out like this, did you ever do it like this, Riley? If you did a plus b times a plus b, you get a squared plus ba plus ba and then b squared. So you get a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. That's where that comes from. And so what you're doing is you're taking 2 times a times b. So it's just sort of a quick trick. And so you have a times b, you got negative 5 times 6 is negative 30, and negative 30 times 2 is negative 60.
So it's pretty much like distributed?
Yeah, it is. That's what it is. Yeah, it's distributive property, and you can break it down like this. And we're going to go toward the last part of the semester, we're going to go deeper into the binomial theorem. And we'll be able to expand even larger things out.
What the heck, dude?
Do you need me, do you want me to do this G of,
No, I want you to do f of g of 6.
f of g of 6? Okay, well, that's easy. What you do, f of g of 6. Okay, f of g of 6 is going to be just plugging in 6 for here. So you get negative 50, right?
Oh,
Times 6 squared
why would it?
plus 145 times 6 minus 101.
Why wouldn't you just plug that into the regular f equation?
You could. You
Would it give you
could.
the same number?
It should. If you did it right, you get the same number, right? But here I have the equation all worked out from this part of it, so I can just plug in like negative. So what I would do, this is one I would really use my calculator for. Okay, I'll just take 6.
Perfect, so
Okay, I would take,
Mr. G, can you get number 15?
I'll work back on that. But if you put 6 storage x, okay, and then you stored, and you go over here, you can put in negative 50x squared plus 145x minus 101, right? So you get negative 50x squared. Was it plus 145x? Is that what it was?
yeah.
Minus 101. So this would be our answer for that one. Negative 1,031. Did somebody try plugging it through separately?
Yeah.
Did you get the same thing?
I didn't get anything, that's why.
Oh, you haven't started, you haven't got
No,
that
I
far?
did it, but like I don't have a calculator. So
Oh, you didn't have the calculator for it, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So you asked about 15 here? Okay, f of g of x, you're going to plug this, you're going to plug the g into the f, so you have, so that's your room for your g. Your g is going to go right in here. So you put 4x minus 8 right in here. And then that's going to be equal to 8x minus 16 minus 3, which is 8x minus 19. So that's going to be f, that's going to be fog, right? F of g of x, right? And then if you plug in 6, you'll have f of g of 6. You get 8 times 6 minus 19. So that's going to be like 48 minus 19, whatever that is. It's 48 minus 19. It's like 29. Yeah, 29 sounds right. And then g of f is the other direction. You plug this. So g of f equals g of f, you take the g of f, you do the f first.
Wait, hold on.
So you get 4, and here's where you plug.
Where did you get this?
The 6, that's where the 6 comes from right there. And so here we're going to plug f into g, so we're going to take this right here like this, and we'll put 2x minus 3 right in here. So we're going to get 8x minus 12 minus 8. So we're going to get 8x minus 20. So that's going to be this thing right here, g of f of x, which is the same notation there. So these would be your answers for number 15. Okay? I kind of like this, I like this one better than 6, the numbers get really out of control on number 16. But, and the coefficients and stuff. But I really want to start on inverses tomorrow. Yes?
I did it a different way, but I still got the same answer.
Which one did you do differently?
Number 50.
Or 15? How did you do it?
I found f of g of x and then g of f of x, and then I plugged in, or I did g of 6, and I plugged in
Oh, okay.
6 to the g of x.
So what you're saying is with the 6, right? You plug the 6
Into that.
into the g, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So you get 4 times 6 minus 8. So that'd be 24 minus 8, which is 16, right?
Mhm.
And then she plugs the 16 in here. 2 times 16 is 32 minus 3, 29. What I did is I just kept the, yeah, you can do that, you can run them through separately. But see, I already knew we had this, so we could just plug the 6 straight into that one too. So either way, you get the same thing. I'm glad you did that because what it shows is corroboration of how the techniques done properly in either case will get you the same result. Okay, that was good.